Okay guys, welcome. I just want to do a quick build video for the Stamina Sorcerer. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I am a red guard. Red guards are the best class in my opinion for stamina DPS because it increases your stamina recovery, your max stamina, and you get some good resource management with your melee attacks. Okay, so let's go right into it. I'm going to do what sets I'm wearing first. I'm wearing a Spriggan set, 5 pieces. I'm using a Clever Alchemist set, 5 pieces, and a 2-piece monster set called Saline's Mask. Saline's. So I got the mask and then the shoulders. It's a good set. Hits really hard. What Saline's basically does is it gives you more stamina. Excuse me. And then when you deal direct melee damage, you have 15% chance to call in a primal spirit that mauls the closest enemy in front of you for 14,280. Like I said, that goes up. I'm not buffed anymore. Okay. So I have the Clever Alchemist set, which is on my back bar kind of, if so to speak. So I proc it using my bow and arrow side. Once I proc it, I switch over to my two-handed sword, which now switches my 5-piece to the Spriggan set, which is here. Just real good. It adds stamina, weapon damage. When I switch, I now have the 5th piece of penetration on the opposite side, and I still get the not the major brutality, but I get the big weapon damage bonus. Okay, so I'm using divines on most of my pieces except for the head. I'm using infused, just kind of what I got, and I'm happy with it. And impenetrable on the shoulders, I'm happy with it. I do like divines. The rings are purple, and I have weapon damage glyphs on them because this character is not really affected by the patch when it comes to resource management, because of the fact that we have Dark Deal, and we're going to get into that in a second. But more weapon damage, shorter fights, better resource management. Okay, so I usually drop people within the first second or two. If I can't drop him within 4 or 5 seconds, then he knows what he's doing, and then I have to go switch from hardcore DPS to try to sustain a little bit, build up some ultimate, and then go again. And there's no way he's going to survive a second round, unless he kills me. I'm not flawless here, but anyway, so okay, so we have braised rabbit with spring vegetables. It's the food that I like to use because it has max health, max stamina. I do not like drinks. I don't use them because you're taking away max stamina. The more stamina you have, the more damage you do with stamina class abilities. And then max health. Who can go wrong with having more health and being more tanky, especially with this build. I also use tri-stat potions, but I'll also use invisibility potions if I'm in a tight spot. I'll pop an invisibility potion on my back bar to proc my weapon damage with the alchemist set, and then wrecking blow them from stealth, and that usually gives me a nice chunk of damage. So let's go ahead and go into what I'm using for my abilities. On the front bar, which is my main DPS bar, I have critical rush. I like it because it's always a critical strike, and the more distance you travel, the more damage you do. And a lot of people run for me, even emperors run for me on this class right here. So it's a really good move to go with this set. I do have reverse slice because it's just it's a really powerful executioner, and like I said, if you try to do like a light attack, anything like that, it's boom, it's like kind of goes instant. So Camouflage Hunter, it gives me my major savagery so that I can get my weapon critical up, keep it high, so I'm always doing critical damage basically. It also adds 3% extra weapon damage to my overall weapon damage because of the passive I have in the Fighters Guild abilities, which is also why I run Fighters Guild Ultimate. We have Rally, which is it is not our main source of brutality. It is a heal. I use it for a heal, and a very, very strong heal. Everyone is familiar with Rally. It is OP. I love it. Can't do without it. Okay? Then we have Wrecking Blow. I like Wrecking Blow because it increases the damage of your next attack by 20%, and sometimes that next attack just happens to be my Dawnbreaker. So, and it hits really hard. So, then we go to the Dawnbreaker, and then we have Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I like it because it knocks the person down, and it deals more damage. And you'll see in my champion points why I chose this one, and I'll get into that in a second, but let's do the back bar. Dark Deal, Quick Heal. Everyone's pretty much familiar with it. If you're not, you bargain with Darkness to restore 8,623 health and then 4878 stamina. You're basically converting your magic, because this is a magic ability, into health and stamina, so it heals you and gives you your resources back, and it does take 1.2 seconds. So you might want to either Bolt Escape if you want that on your bar, or Roll Dodge, get out the way, get some line of sight, and then use it. But I wouldn't just sit there and try to use it in front of a person. They're gonna jack you up. Okay, so anyway, so we have Resolving Vigor next. Really good, strong heal. Keep all these on the same bar. Hurricane, we're gonna try to keep that up in the rotation. It's really good. It's physical resistance, spell resistance, movement speed is increased by 10%, and it got nerfed a while back, but it's still really strong. L1 is my main source of brutality. This is what I use for brutality, not Rally. This right here gives you 20% extra weapon damage for 33 seconds, but while it's active, dealing a critical strike heals you for 3210 health. This effect can occur every 1 second. It's higher than most people because of the way I did my champion points. We're going to get into that. We're going to be real quick about this. And then my Poison Injection. It can be used as an executioner, and it should be. Me personally, I use it as just a real strong dot in a good quick burst before I even go to my DPS bar. And then this right here is Absorption Field. I use this just for because I do PvP, and this is really good for when you're on the front line. You can drop that down, hit a Dawnbreaker, you know, Executioner. Reverse Slice. Is that the one I got? Yeah, because this deals damage to everyone else around too. So it's a good way to try to light up a 1vx situation. So it's really good. This one you can literally make whatever you want. You can put the Dawnbreaker on this one too, so that you can get a 3% extra damage on your Poison Inject. I do that sometimes. It's up to you, however you want to play it really. But this build right here is, from what I see, is the best. Now, if you don't really like Vigor and you want to rely on Dark Deal, I'd put Evasion or Shuffle on there. If you don't want to live without your Resolving Vigor, you feel like Dark Deal's taking too long, put Evasion or Shuffle on Dark Deal and keep the Resolving Vigor. Me personally, I like Dark Deal because I like that good resource management. Because sometimes, if I'm in a big group and there's a couple different people healing each other, I can't quite get the kill and I don't feel like dying. So I'll try to keep myself healed up, you know, and keep myself alive and whatnot. But okay, let's see, what else was I going to show you? Okay, let's see, champion points. Would you just look at this? Okay, now I'm not cap already. I've been playing this game forever. I've been playing this game since it came out. But I've taken a few breaks, like a 6-month break, played again for 3 months, and then I took an 8-month break, and I've been back for a little over a month, and apparently, my time's off of not taken from my experience, because I've still done really good for myself. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I've done really well for myself in this game, and let's get into it. Okay, Siphoner. When you deal damage with a light or heavy attack, you decrease the enemy's health, magicka, and stamina recovery by just under 12% for 3 seconds. Just a place I like to put a couple points just to keep them from most people aren't stamp sorks. Most people have a hard time controlling their resources after this patch, so this is a pretty good thing to invest in. I don't want to invest too much though. I also want to put increased stamina recovery by 14% in Mooncalf, so that's 75 points in there. 75 points and increase the magicka and stamina. Your fully charged heavy attacks restore. Remember, I'm real big on heavy attacks, and because I'm a red guard, I'm getting stamina back. I'm proccing my salines, proccing my poisons. So I'm real big about heavy attacks, light attacks, getting my stamina back. So real good place to put those right there. I don't have anything in roll dodge, which I used to do that a lot. If any of you guys know me that well, you'll know that I'm one roll dodge and slippy mofo, because you cannot keep your hands on me. I'm back and forth, in and out, between your legs, through your elbow, over the top of your earlobe. I mean, I'm just everywhere. But this time I'm not going with roll dodge. I'm going with here I am, now I'm gone because you're dead. So no need to roll dodge if you're on the offense. So okay. For the blue side, I put 28 points into healing. Increase your healing done by 7.28. Blessed, pardon me. It really helps. It takes me from 2,000 points per second when I do criticals. If you're familiar with the critical surge, anytime I do a critical hit, it heals me for 2,000, but since I put that in, it's a little over, it's like 3,200, something like that. So it's a way better heal. We go to the next one, and we go to damage. Piercing, nothing, because I'm wearing the Spriggan set, I got good penetration, okay? Then we have increased physical, poison, and disease damage by 14%. That's what I felt comfortable. I didn't want to spend 25 more points to get one more percent. 14 is good. Then I put 51 in here. In precise strikes, increase the damage and healing of your critical strikes with stamina abilities by 19%. It's a good chunk, and I'm a critical build. So it may not look like it, but I have pretty good crit. I usually always do critical hits. And then Thaumaturge, increase the damage done with damage over time effects. Now most of my hard DPS is with Wrecking Blow and Executioner. So it probably makes you think, why would I put that there? Well, my Dawnbreaker of Smiting is my ultimate, and it is a big source of damage, along with my Poison Inject and my Hurricane. So I do have a lot of dots. You just don't really see them because I do hard damage with them. So this right here kind of gives me an overall massive amount of damage. Now I can get it way higher, but for the sustain and staying alive long enough to wipe people clean, this is the best you're gonna get, in my personal opinion. I do have 67 points into resistant to increase my critical resistance by 1467. Plus I have another piece of armor that has it, so altogether I have like, if I'm not mistaken, around 17 plus 1700 plus critical resistance. It's really good. It makes people's hits not hurt that much. Then I put 43 into Hardy, reduce damage taken from physical, poison, and disease damage by 10%. I didn't have to buff this thing up super a lot. I'm not trying to go to 15% or whatever the new cap is. I'm not worried about it. 10% is good enough because I'm not really a stand still and get hit guy. So what I barely do get hit by, I'm healing an incredible amount, and the healing is incredible. Just put it that way. And my critical resistance is high, so I'm not taking that much damage. Any burst damage I can pretty much heal out of. So yeah, and then 10% for the magic damage reduces your damage taken from flame, frost, shock, and magic damage by 10%. And then over here is a little bit more. Reduce the damage taken from damage over time effects, because a lot of things like the Destro ult, the Dawnbreaker I use, so many different abilities that are so OP in the game right now are damage over time effects. So this is at 14%, and I feel comfortable with that. And then once again, 18 points into quick recovery. Increase your healing received by 4.98. Gives me great healing. With quick recovery, and blessed combined, it gives me a nice heal over time with all my heals. Really good. Um, so that's it for the champion points. I think we pretty much touched base with most of this. I want to show you one thing real quick. I do fill out my passives for assault. Gives me good stuff right there. Helps me keep things up, keep fighting. And one other one, Fighter's Guild. This right here, people do not look at, like, ever. That's my backfire. 6%. Increase your weapon damage by 3% for each Fighter's Guild ability slotted. Now, sometimes I'll take away my reverse slice, and I'll put, like, lightweight beast trap, which should do a decent amount of damage and increase your critical damage done. So I can put that here, and then now it'll say 9%, which is a good chunk. The only problem with that with me is it's so hard for me to get people to sit in my trap. I may hit them, they'll roll dodge out of it, and I just feel like 9 times out of 10 nobody walks in it. When they do, it's not a game changer for me. But what is a game changer is when I hit a person a couple times real quick and they're almost dead, and I just push that triangle button and then hit block real quick, and then just boom, they just disappear. That is the game changer, not, you know. So anyway, let me put that back on my bar.